One of the best things about bikes is they come in all shapes and sizes with all different kinds of specs, which is why we are back again with another bike review. This time round we've got another fat tyre off-road terrain e-bike, but this time round it's got a dual hub motor front and rear. So without further ado, let's get this box open and take a look at the bike we're going to be reviewing today. So now we've got the bike out the box, we can finally start taking a look at what we're working with today, and this is the Lankeleisi X3000 Max. As always, we do get a few accessories that come along in the box that we do have to fit to the bike before we can get out riding, so let's take a look at them. And for a start, we've got a very stylish seat that needs to go on the bike. We've also got a plastic front mudguard. On the Engways, these are normally metal, so it'd be interesting to see what a plastic one is like compared to the metal. We then also get a box which is labelled accessory box, so let's get this box open and take a look at what comes inside. So we've got quite a few little accessories in this box, and interestingly, this bike does come with a bike lock, which is awesome. It looks like we've got 2 keys in there, so we've got a key bike lock that comes along with this bike. We've also got a bike pump that looks really low quality and feels really low quality, but it's only doing bicycle tyres, so still a cool accessory to come along with the bike. There's also a brand new screwdriver in a packet. It's a Phillips screwdriver. There's a random bit of plastic which is obviously off something, I have no idea what that's from. We've got the 2 pedals that need screwing onto the bike, a brand new in the packet set of Allen keys, and then I'm presuming that this has got to be our charger, which it is. So we do have the charger in the box as well. So this is a 2.5 amp charger, so again really low amperage, slow charger, but for these e-bikes they always come with slow chargers. And finally, that is where you're going to find your manual as well. We then do have one more box that comes with a bike, and this looks like it is going to be the headlight for the bike, so let's get this out the box as well, and we're going to start attacking the bike, throwing all the parts on so we can get out riding. Let's do it. So with the parts and accessories all laid out in front of us, it's time to start work on this bike. I'm going to start by removing the battery so we can get this on charge while I build the bike. This is a folding bike, and this is where the battery is kept, inside of the frame. So with the battery removed from the bike, we can fold it back up and fasten it with the clip. Next we're going to move on to the seat. This is an easy install because we have a quick release lever that holds the seat in place. Now we can start work on the handlebars, and we need to remove these 4 bolts from the stem. With the 4 bolts removed, we can put the handlebars in place and then simply reinstall the bolts that we just removed, but make sure the handlebars are placed correctly. Now we can start taking a look at unwrapping and installing the pedals. These pedals are also an easy install because they simply screw into each side of the bike. Now for the headlight, and I love this headlight for a few reasons. Not only does it look aggressive, but the install on this is also really easy. You remove these 2 screws, and once removed the clamp will unhinge. This is the same on both sides. Next, we have one connector that plugs the headlight into the rest of the bike. Now we can put the headlight where it needs to be, and then reinstall the 2 screws that we just removed, but remember to do both sides. And with the headlight on, we're already making good progress on the bike. So now we can flip it over and start looking at installing the front wheel. The front wheel fits like most common bike front wheels, and it's a simple case of aligning the front wheel and tightening it up. But we do need to plug in the connector for the front hub motor. Once plugged in, it can then be fastened to the bike with these mounts provided. Finally, we can install the front mudguard, and now it's time to ride. So with the X3000 Max fully built, we can finally take it for a bit of a test ride and see what this bike is all about. But before we do, let's look at some of the cool features of this bike. So getting straight into the business, and like already mentioned, this bike does have 2 motors, a front and a rear motor. Both of these motors are 1000 watt motors, so combined that makes 2000 watts. And you can use it in front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, or both. Inside the bike is a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery. With it provided is a 48 volt 3 amp charger. Because the charger is only a 3 amp charger, this does mean slower charge time, so you are going to look at a 5 to 7 hours charge time for this battery. But saying that, this battery is capable of doing 43 miles using purely the throttle alone, or 80 miles whilst using the pedal assist on the bike. Up at the handlebars is where you will find your modern looking coloured LCD screen, which will display a load of data as well as things like your speed, your mileage, and all the settings on the bike. This also has an IP54 waterproof rating, so don't worry about this thing getting wet in the rain. As well as the LCD screen, you will find the controls for the LCD screen on the left of the handlebars, and on the right is where you will have your 7-speed Shimano gear system. And this bike also features a half twist throttle. The X3000 is also equipped with front and rear suspension. Funnily enough, the forks look like Fox 34 forks, but they do look good, strong forks on the bike, and they also have compression and preload adjustment settings, as well as 120mm travel. And the shock is an air shock and is a really common shock that you see on these sorts of bikes. It has a rating for up to £650 for those comfier rides. At the rear of the bike is where we will find our rear light, which also has a brake light. At the front of the bike is where you will find your 4.5-inch aggressive looking headlight. This comes equipped with a light switch so you can turn it on or off, and it also has an electric horn built into it. One of my favourite things on this bike is actually the brakes, and not only are they hydraulic brakes with 180mm brake rotors, but they also look an absolute treat on this bike with the red calipers, as well as having some really nice feeling stylish brake levers. Another cool feature about this bike is actually the wheels, and not only do they come equipped with these big fat off-road tyres, again like we've seen on many of these other bikes, so they're black rims with these orange infills, and the orange infills are actually spongy. So now we've looked at all the cool features of the X3000 Max, let's get on this bike and give it a test ride, see what it's capable of. So with the bike on, we can keep it in power mode level 1 and get cracking on with the throttle. I am going to be switching between using the pedal assist and the throttle quite a lot in this video. I like to get going with the throttle and then use the pedal assist to keep me going. That's the best way I find, or the smoothest way I find to keep on the power. So let's get straight into the basics of this bike, what most of these electric bikes are going to have that you see on the market, and the things that are sort of essential to the bike. So for a start, you do have your 7-speed Shimano gear system. It's nice having gears on these electric bikes. It does help you when you're cruising up hills like this. I've got it on a low power mode at the minute, but it's easy work getting up this hill, and I've got it in gear 2. You can just cruise it and sit at a comfortable speed. As well as the Shimano gear system, you've obviously got the brake system. I absolutely love this brake system. I think it performs amazingly well, and for a start it actually came in the usual setup that I'm used to, with the back brake on the left and the front brake on the right. Then we have the thumb controls on your left hand side, which is then obviously going to control your power settings and your headlight, things like that. So on this bike we do have the 5 power modes, so you can use levels 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. You also have a level 0, which means no electric at all, just turns it into a normal pedal bike at that point. You also have the controls for the settings on the bike on the left hand side, as well as the settings to turn this bike from single motor to dual motor. And not only dual motor, it can go in front or rear wheel drive. So like most of these electric off-road bikes that I'm seeing these days, we do have the 20-inch fat tyres on the bike. These make for a nice grippy and smooth ride on most occasions. Not only do they make for a nice ride, but they do also look really cool on the bike. They make the bike look a bit beefier and a bit more aggressive, and just appeal to a bit more of a off-road sort of audience. And this is where the interesting bit comes. So we've got a huge tunnel in front of us. We can just about see the end of it, but this is where it's going to be a great test for the headlight. So let's flick the headlight on. I can actually see some people further down the tunnel, so we are going to have to be a bit careful as we get down. But the headlight looks like it's doing its job. I can't lie, I've got my tinted goggles on right now, so I can't see a thing. It does seem to dim the LCD screen when you turn the headlight on as well. But with this being a 4.5-inch headlight, it does have some good coverage, and it can actually be tilted up and down. I'm not going to try to do it while I'm riding through this dark tunnel, but you can tilt the headlight up and down for different positions, so you can decide where you have the headlight. And then obviously, like mentioned, at the back of the bike you've got a tail light with a brake light. The brake lights on these bikes are actually really useful. So that's it, we made it through the tunnel. Headlight did its job. Turn it off so I can actually see my LCD screen. And talking about the LCD screen, like mentioned, it does display things like your speed, your power levels, your battery percentage. It also tells you the top mileage. So I've actually done 27 miles on this bike, because I did actually ride this bike a little bit before making this video. I was so interested to see how this bike performed, and I didn't have the time to actually film my first impressions, but all I can say is that I do love this bike so far. And also, like mentioned, on the display you can see your power modes and whether you are in single or dual motor, and you can also go in front or rear motor. So I have been riding in rear wheel drive only at the minute, but if I then go to the controls on the left hand side and I hold the plus button, that will then put us into dual motor mode, and you definitely notice that power increase when it's in dual motor mode. So I'm in power mode 3 now, and I'm pedaling quite normally, and it is picking up to 25 mile an hour, 26 mile an hour. So this bike is capable. And this bike doesn't only have 3 power modes, it has 5, so there is potential for this bike to be even quicker. So let's put it up into power mode level 5, and you can definitely feel that torque increase. With these motors, front and rear on the bike, combined they make 2000 watts, and they also give you a torque measurement of 95 Newton meters. And we're getting up to 30 mile an hour now, 29 point something, and this is the bike absolutely maxed out. That was me pedaling, that was no twist throttle involved. But just out of interest, let's hit those good brakes. They are amazing brakes, I really do like them. So we're going to go from 0 mile an hour to as fast as we possibly can with this twist throttle. 3, 2, go. You can hear the front wheel spinning. So we're at 15 mile an hour already. 20, up to 25. Still just going on that twist throttle. Up to 27, 28. This is on a full battery as well. Looks like we're going to be getting 28, 29 I saw then. So 29 mile an hour, give or take, because these displays are never dead on accurate. I might get the GPS out later in the video to test that, but still 30 mile an hour basically with just the twist throttle alone. That is the power of those dual motors, and they are so fun to ride with. I thought having a front wheel drive as well as a rear wheel drive might feel a bit strange, but I'll be honest, I really enjoy it. I think it's brilliant. You really do feel that power difference. It feels like the bike has just got that little bit more pull, a little bit more acceleration, and then obviously when you're pedaling as well, it gives you a proper kick. You really feel that torque going straight up to 28, nearly 29, 30 mile an hour. This bike is fun and this bike flies. Suspension coming in handy again on those rough bits. It's a nice transporter. So it's safe to say that with the dual motors and the power of this 48 volt bike, it does pack a bit of a punch. Woo! I really love the acceleration of this bike. It's nothing mental, obviously it's nothing like a Surron, but if you were looking for a cheap alternative of a bike to buy to go out and cruise with your friends on Surrons, providing they kept it in eco mode, this bike would be brilliant. It would be an absolutely perfect replacement for a Surron on a budget. Again, with the pedal assist and the twist throttle, you could quite happily keep up with your friends cruising in eco mode on the Surrons. So as well as the controls letting you go into dual motor mode, you can go back into single motor mode, but not only can you go back into single motor mode, you can choose whether you go into front or rear single motor mode. So this bike can be front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, or both. So if I hold down the plus button again, that's going to take me from dual into single, and it will say single F on the screen. I'm purely in front wheel drive mode alone now. And again, it's so strange having the power pull you from a front, but it also feels really nice. Is rather than the power being pushed from the back with all the weight in front of it, it's actually pulling the weight along. With the help of you pedaling, I think it's a perfect combination. But then with having the choice of using front, rear or both, you have the choice of the efficiency of the bike. And from what I've been told, if you use 2 motors off of 1 battery, it's actually more efficient than running 1 motor off of 1 battery. I don't know if this is correct or not. This is something that somebody is actually going to have to educate me on. But it may be that if you use the 2 motors together, it will be more efficient for the battery than just using 1 motor. If not, it's obviously going to be the other way around, and using 1 motor alone is going to be more efficient than using both. But if anybody knows the true answer to this, leave it down below in the comments. So with the power delivery of this bike and just the whole setup of it and how it all feels, it is honestly an absolute dream to ride. I love how the pedal assist power is delivered to the bike. It is smooth and it is controlled. Even though it is torquey and powerful, it is not ridiculous and it is not uncontrollable, but it's also not sluggish and slow, which you do find with some of these bikes. And then the actual geometry and the actual riding position of the bike alone is just really nice. It comes with quite tall handlebars for those taller riders, and then it also comes with an adjustable seat, so you can adjust it up or down depending on what your height is. So because this bike has actually a front and a rear motor, it makes it 10 times more fun, because not only can you do regular burnouts with the rear motor, but you can also do front burnouts with the front motor. Furnouts. So as for range on this bike, they claim 43 miles just using that twist throttle alone, which 43 miles using throttle alone is actually pretty decent, especially for a 20 amp hour battery. On a Surron, the batteries are 60 volt 30 plus amp hour. They range different ranges, but you'll only get around 30 miles on a Surron, and this is claiming 43 just using the twist throttle, and it'll sit at 30 mile an hour easily, no problem. We are in dual motor mode to get the most fun out of this bike. But then if you pedal and we go to the pedal assist, then this bike claims 80 miles, which is huge. 80 miles range. I don't even think you'd want to cycle 80 miles in a day. That is plenty for all your needs. And if that is in the dual motor mode, then that's 80 miles of fun. I actually love pedaling on these bikes, and if I could pedal for 80 miles, if I had the energy and the stamina to pedal for 80 miles, I would love to. So all in all, the range is quite good on this bike. Charge time lets it down a little bit with the 5 to 7 hours charge time, although saying that, slower charge time is actually better for batteries. The hotter the batteries get, the more they degrade, and with it charging slowly, it's pushing power back into the battery slowly rather than quickly, and overall, for a longer lifespan, that is much healthier for a battery. So you are sacrificing time, but you're going to prolong the life of your battery by doing that. So I guess the main question is, how much is a bike like this going to set you back if you were to go and buy it? And if you go to the Lankeleisi website and you look for the X3000 Max, currently the price is sat at £1,899, I believe. This is on a sale. Sometimes it sits just above 2,000, sometimes it's just under 2,000. So you're looking at around 2 grand for this bike. But I must say, for the price range and for what you get quality wise, I actually think it's worth it. The fun that I've had on this bike compared to the other pedal assist e-bikes that I've ridden is non-comparable. I've ridden 4 other pedal assist e-bikes and this one has topped it by far. I think it does help it being a 2,000 watt bike, which makes it obviously more powerful, a bit more fast, and just nicer to ride in general. But I think bang for buck with this bike, £2,000, you really can't complain. So when it comes to things that I dislike about this bike, there's really not a lot to say. I dislike the grips for a start. They're these weird leather grips with the sort of palm placement on it, which isn't my favourite. But then the handlebars as well, I feel like the handlebars could just be a little bit nicer, maybe look a little bit cooler to suit the bike a bit more, as well as feel nicer on the bike. So the only 2 things I can really say anything bad about on this bike is the grips and the handlebars. Everything else on it, I actually love it. And then in the future, I am going to look at actually maybe tweaking this bike and potentially doing a few maybe upgrades or at least modifications to this bike to make it a little bit cooler. See if we can make this bike a cool bike for the channel that's not the Surron, until we get a better replacement, which I think for the time being is going to be hard to find. And then lastly, to do with this bike, I'm going to have to show you how good these brakes are, just because I actually love them. I think they are probably the best feature on the bike in my eyes, other than it being dual motor and electric. But let's get to 28 mile an hour by pedaling, 29, and let's hit the brakes. That is some stopping power. Even the speedometer can't keep up. That is brilliant. They're the brakes you need on these sorts of e-bikes. If you haven't got brakes that are going to stop you like that, you could be in some real danger. And the back brake is brilliant if you're an aggressive, stylish rider and you think you like to show off a bit and do some skids. The back brake is the one for you. I'm that sort of rider. I love to add a bit of style, a bit of tweak. And then the front brake, it is a bit slippy, but it will do endos even in these conditions. I don't want to go too fast and hurt myself, but no, we just slide on that one. Yeah, I can't get the traction for endos right now, but you get the point. The brakes are mega on this bike. They're so good. I definitely think that the Lankeleisi X3000 Max is one to look at. With its aggressive looking style and its cool features, it really does have a place in the market for these electric bikes. If you do want to take a look at this bike yourself, the link will be in the description, as well as any discount codes that I can offer for this bike. With that being said and done, I've been Matt Francis signing out. Peace.